Okay, let's look at hip internal rotation. So hip internal rotation would be if you were in this position and we took your leg and we turned the leg out, meaning the femur is internally rotating inside the hip socket. So somebody with poor hip internal rotation might only move about this far if we passively stretch them and move them in that position. Okay, we also want to look at active. Active would be more to do with how strong is the muscles that are internally rotating. Passive would be more the opposite side. Oh, that might be tight, preventing us from getting out there. So let's try to see if we can change that range of motion. So change the tissue in the outside and the inside of that hip to see if we can fix hip internal rotation. So first thing I want to do, let's loosen up the tissue on the outside. So get a lacrosse ball in the glute med, because that's your external rotator. So it would be tight and possibly preventing internal rotation. Okay, so we would get in here, find a spot, move about 10 times, and then rock back and forth. This should take you 2-3 minutes. Find different spots, work out that tissue. Once you've worked out that tissue, let's stretch that tissue now. Now the way we want to stretch it is not just sit here and hold a static stretch. We want to give some feedback to that tissue in an isometric fashion. So what we would do is we would get in here, hold the position. The way I have it wrote up on the sheet that I emailed out, and the way I'll write it in the notes, is we're going to do 4 isometric contractions on the muscle that I'm stretching. So I'm in a hip stretch right now. I've held it for about 30 seconds. Then I'm going to push. So I'm going to push down for about 10 seconds. Then I'm going to relax, try and sink further. 10-second push, relax. So that push is a external rotation this way, working the outside of that hip. Once I've done that 4 times, I'm going to stay in this position. Hopefully I've got further into the stretch, good posture, hips back, leaning into it. Now I'm going to try and see if I can pull myself further. This is going to pull up, I'm going to pull down. I'm going to do this for about 15 to 20 seconds. Then I'm going to relax and hold the stretch again for 30 seconds. So that's just the way we're going to do it for now. We will absolutely do this different ways, and you can play with the different ways. Another way is to give yourself a 5-10 second contraction down, immediately followed by a 5-10 second this way, and then go back and forth a few times, and then hold the stretch. They're going to accomplish very similar things, increasing that range of motion in that hip. So once you've rolled, stretched, now we want to do something to get the muscle on the opposite side working. So we've loosened this off. Now let's see if we can get into internal rotation. So I would lean forward into this position and see, I'll slip back a bit so we can make sure we see it in the camera. And I would internally rotate and I would hold that isometric. So we call this a passive range lift off, okay? If I had somebody hold my foot there and then go away, it'd be a passive range hold. Either one works, okay? So with this, we want to do about 30 seconds worth of work. So meaning I would lift for say 3 seconds, relax, do 10 reps. If I could lift longer, I would lift for about 5 seconds, relax, do 6 sets or 6 reps, okay? So 30 seconds. If I could do 10 seconds, I would do 3. If I could do it for 15, I would only do 2. Most of us are going to probably be around 5 seconds, hold for 5, and then we're going to find that leg's going to start to want to lag. As soon as you see any little bit of lag in there, stop the rep. Don't try to overdo it. Also, don't cheat. Don't lean to get into the position. It's easy to internally rotate if I lean my body, but if I stay up and I stay disciplined, contract, bring air into the belly, brace the core, and really focus on that internal rotation of the hip, okay? Then the last thing you want to do, let's go through a little bit more advanced cars and just open up the hips and get into that position and back and forth, okay? So I roll, I stretch, I give some feedback to the tissue, strengthen, and then I get the range of motion of that hip moving again, and then check and see if it improved my internal rotation.